and welcome to another teacher talk session tonight. And tonight we are going to have another educator from different parts of the world, and tonight we are going to have an educator from Lebanon, and she is Hala Assi, and she's a Celta Certified English Teacher. And when she comes, we are going to talk about lots of topics. And so I don't want to waste time, and I want to directly invite her to join the live session. Let me invite her. There she is. Yes. Hello.
Okay. Hi, Vulcan.
Hi, Hala. But I can't see you.
Yeah,
Actually, we
1
can't
minute.
see you.
One,
All right.
here I am. Hi,
Okay.
Vulcan.
Hi, Hala. It's great. It's great to see you.
It's great to
And
see
I
you
would
too.
like to.
My pleasure.
That's wonderful. And I would like to say thank you very much for accepting my invitation for Teacher Talks. It's really great honor to have you in 107th session.
Thanks to you. Thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure again. Thank you so much. You've
It's
given me that
wonderful.
opportunity.
You are welcome. You're welcome. And I'm sure that's going to be a very fruitful session. All right. If you're ready, we can start.
Of course. Of
Okay,
course.
Hala, I know about you, but not, of course, lots of things. So maybe our listeners and watchers, they want to maybe would like to know about you. So can you tell us about yourself, please, and a bit about your experiences too?
Of course. Of course. First of all, my name is Hala Assi. I live in Lebanon at the present time, and I work as a certified English teacher. That's my job now. What's the Celta? Just to explain a bit about the Celta, it's a Cambridge certificate teaching English to adults. And I've got that certificate since the year 2000. And from there, I started my career. I started my career as teaching beginners classes. I leveled up and went to advanced, so as proficiency classes. And
Wonderful.
actually, education wasn't my main major. I majored in media marketing. I have a bachelor degree in media marketing. But once I started teaching, I found myself too devoted, too passionate to giving
Great.
people, to influencing people, to helping people to understand the English language. And that's when my journey started. And here it is.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Hala, for sharing with us. And Hala, what was or were your turning point or points in your own education?
My turning point definitely is that when I started helping in admission exams, preparing students for the admission exams, academically speaking, and that's when the IELTS played its role. So I started just preparing students for the IELTS academically. I'll explain what the IELTS is in a while, and also for immigration purposes. And that's when my turning point started in my career. So I left the regular English and I started into preparation for those exams. And it's related to universities, embassies, and immigration purposes. And it's a pleasure. I love what I'm doing right now. And more helping refugees in many ways.
That's also another point, I think. I
Yeah.
see. Okay, it's great. Thank you very much. And Hala, and you said I think you have been working as a teacher for a long time, and probably you have tried lots of different techniques and strategies for your students. So probably have a kind of a philosophy of teaching. So what is it? What is your philosophy of teaching?
Okay. Vulcan, we have to understand that not all the students have the same level of maybe knowledge or understanding. So my philosophy, first of all, is to have patience with all the students in order to get across to them with my message. In order to do so, we have to have very good communication skills just in the classroom, just to encourage the students to grow better, to produce better and to gain self-confidence. Introducing new methods, new techniques and strategies is my first aim right now, which will make it just way easier for the students to complete any task given to them. By doing so, teamwork helps. Creating a safe environment in the classroom, friendly environment, and good teacher-student interaction. And that's the major thing that plays just a major role in the classroom. And that's what I just aim for, actually. Friendly atmosphere.
Nice. We all want that friendly atmosphere in our classes. Great. Thank you.
Of course. It's no matter, like, we're not scared of the teacher anymore. A good student-teacher interaction plays a major role. It builds self-confidence in a student and helps him to produce and progress better and better.
Better and better. I see. Thank you. Thank you very much, Hala. Let's move to another question. I know that you have also studying your students' IELTS tests. You prepare them actually for IELTS test. So can you give us some information about what is an IELTS test and why do people want to take it? Why do they need it?
Okay. The IELTS it's separated into two exams. We have the academic and the general. Okay? There isn't much difference between both, but the academic is used for education purposes. When students want to pursue higher education and they want to be enrolled at the best universities. Here they go and sit for the academic IELTS exam. The general one is just for the immigration, when people want to migrate and leave the country. And you know how the economical situation, especially in Lebanon, so many people have just decided to migrate and leave the country. We call it a 9-band exam. Why is it a 9-band? The score is over 9. It's highly recommended in many countries, just over 140 countries, mostly in the States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and it's just a proof for your English language, to prove that you know how to speak the English, whether for just university students or for immigration purposes. It's divided into 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And my training starts from here with my special techniques and strategies. So it's a full success for the student whenever he wants or she wants to do so, which I've succeeded with many refugees, actually, in my last task I was given to, and I did it perfectly.
I see. And there is a nice comment below. Say, you are one of the best, Hala. Saoki says to you.
So much. Thank you so much.
By the way, let me remind you something. If you have any questions for Hala, please write them into the question part, which is the bottom of the screen, if you can see it. But if you write any questions into the chat box part, maybe we can miss it. So please write your questions into the question part. Thank you. If you have any questions, of course, for Hala. Okay, so let's move to another question. Would you like to add anything else, or can I move to another question?
Move to another question. Yes.
Okay, so you have trained students for the IELTS from, I think, as far as I know, from 6 or 7 different countries, including Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Turkey. So can you share 1 or 2 interesting moments while teaching them? Maybe you wanted to give us some ideas about what kind of things difficult, what kind of things easy.
Okay. First of all, I just need to thank the education center I work for, which is Skills MENA. They have granted me that opportunity and opened doors for me just to cover 5 or 6 major countries. It's an organization called European Union. Okay, it's funded by the European Union. It's called HOPE, and the center Skills MENA, in collaboration with this, have granted me and trusted me to teach those refugees, Syrian refugees that were in different countries. The most interesting part is that it was a success for me because it marked, I influenced many just to succeed and fulfill their dreams. This is the best thing about it. But the most difficult thing is that they, of course, I didn't know them because, you know, Volkan, I was teaching online. And, you know, online just, you can't just read the student's mind or even know how, because they come from different background and culture. So, of course, the first session or 2 sessions, it was difficult because I had to make everybody happy. Okay?
I see.
Until they adapted, then everything went on well. Some of them, maybe they just did not understand the message or something, just a few, and others really succeeded. Maybe this was a bit just an obstacle. I'm telling you because it was online. But it was just in total a great success because I did mark a difference in those people's lives. They reached what they want. Some of them had just a beautiful score on their IELTS, and now they're in the best universities. They did pursue their dreams, and that's
Wonderful.
That's the most
wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing with us, Hala. So, by the way, you have told something related about my next question, but I'm gonna ask you again. What are their aim to take this exam for all the students from these countries, from that kind of country? They all want to take the IELTS. Can you give some more examples about it?
Okay. The IELTS is needed for some universities. Okay. Some universities, they require the IELTS as an admission exam. I'm speaking about academically. Okay. You know, we have admission exams just to enter just for higher education. Some of the universities, maybe in just the States, in Canada, in the UK, they require the IELTS. Okay. So the students have to sit for that exam, but of course they have to go into just training and preparation from a specialist, just a tutor to do so. The exam runs into 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. But it's based on certain structure and techniques in order just to make sure that they succeed and do well on the exams. This is it. As for immigration purposes, people also can go immigrate and work with the IELTS certificate. So just for immigration and for academic, the IELTS is approved of in just 140 countries all over the world. Across the world. Yes. So this is it. You can ask if you want. You can ask just way more because it's approved of. They can work with this certificate as immigrants, let's say, and they can study with this certificate if it's required, of course, at the university.
I see. I understand. Thank you very much, Hala. So let's move to another question. You have taught lots of refugees in your career, if I'm not wrong. Can you tell us about them a little bit? Like, where are they from? Why are they there? And how did you help them? And how did how do you feel like to teach them?
First of all, helping others is my pride. I love to help. This is in me. That's why I'm maybe successful at my career because just the main, just being a teacher. Yeah, being a teacher, it's just mainly loves giving. And I'm a very devoted person. So refugees, just the word refugee, of course, they need help to build their career in order to reach somewhere there, okay? I helped them. I marked a difference, I think, in their lives because they were in need just to succeed in that exam. And here I was just helping them, supporting them. Till now, I have people in contact with me. Those were Syrian refugees settling in 5 or 6 major countries. Some were in Turkey, some were in Jordan, some were in Lebanon, some were in Syria, and in Iraq. And you cannot just even imagine, Vulcan, how when they take the support, when they feel somebody supporting them, how thankful they were. Until
I can
today,
imagine.
they're thanking me. So they had my full support. They had my full devotion, let's say, just to make them just reach wherever they want.
I see.
At the end, I do believe that knowledge is having certain knowledge is just the secret for a better place. And that's why I like to help anybody who is in need of that. And this is my aim.
I see. I'm sure that's a really big, a huge pride for you to do it. You're really
I love what I'm doing,
proud of
Vulcan,
yourself.
because I love to help others. I love to influence others because just I love to mark a difference in someone's life. And with those techniques, especially from the IELTS and from the people who have granted me those opportunities, I've reached what I want.
Really wonderful. Thank you. I also want to thank you about the things that you are doing for them.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thanks
And so let's move to the next question.
Yeah.
By the way, probably as I mentioned just now, like you have taught lots of refugees in your career, so probably there are some easy parts and there are some difficult parts. So I just wanted to ask you the difficult part. What is or are the most difficult or difficult part or parts to teach for the refugees for you?
Okay. Of course, it's difficult, especially if for the young, if they're very just young. Some people have been out of school for, due to the hard situation people are going through and they're out from their countries. Some people maybe just, I'm talking about the little kids. They're out of school like for years and years. So to put them back in the right track, that's the difficult part. I remember in the year 2017, I participated in a program given to the refugees in north and south of Lebanon, which was the Accelerated Learning Program. It was funded by the UNICEF. And our job was to distribute placement tests for those very young children. It was a very tough job, Vulcan, because first of all, just to put them on the right level, it was hard. To make them adapt again, to learn, it was so hard. Do you understand?
Sure.
At the end, it wasn't their fault. It's the fault of the situation. They were just being in, and that's it. Maybe that's the toughest thing. About the refugees, now that I've had the opportunity to work for and teach 200 students, it wasn't difficult because those were adults. They're youth, but they were adults. So they knew, and they were so educated, and I'm really proud of all because they knew what they were doing. And they were pursuing their dreams, and it was just an excellent experience, just a memorable experience I've never forget. And again, I'd like to thank the people who have granted me that beautiful opportunity.
I see. Wonderful, really. I'm sure that you feel really great about it, especially when you see the good results, you became more happy.
Always positive feedback, and I thank God for this because we've always we monitor the progress of our students, especially this is part of our job is to monitor their progress, to support if they are in need of help, and to be by their side. And this is mainly what we're for, and that's it.
I see.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hala. I saw a question here. I just wanted to ask you here, from Al Bayrak. It says here, for an intermediate learner, how long does it take to get a mark above 7 in IELTS?
Okay. I tell him intermediate, that's fine. It's English, but it's more also based. Intermediate is fine. He could do well. But if he relies on the techniques, okay, the techniques also count. The techniques that he has to follow for every section. Let's say Vulcan, I'd like to explain to him, the listening section has its own technique in order to complete it successfully. So as the reading, okay, there are certain techniques. so as the writing. I teach it by structure. I teach them how to structure the writing, and the speaking, which is based on three things: accuracy, fluency, so as consistency. So
I
they're
see.
fully trained. It's intermediate would be fine, but of course he has to be serious about it. And just with practices, I'm sure the person will succeed in
I
reaching
see.
his or her goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Hala, for your answer. Let's move to another question. So, and my next question is about, again, youth and refugees. Like, how do you think, like, we can support the youth refugees to be independent financially? For example, they take the tests or these IELTS, will they help them in the future,
Okay.
or what can we do them?
Okay. I think that refugees must be allowed, all the refugees must be allowed to have accredited examination.
Mm-hmm.
Examinations approved of. Because at the end, they need to build a career and they need to be independent financially. This is based on three things. Okay? Three things it goes. Let's say, let's just put an arrow. Educators
Mm-hmm.
who will just play a major role, instructors
Mm-hmm.
who will lead them on the right track, educational
I see.
centers, like the center I'm working
Uh-huh.
for, Mina, in collaboration with an organization that will launch a program to help all these youth. And that's how. That because the organization will fund the programs and they need funding. So they need educators, educational centers, so as organizations to fund the program, and that's it.
I see. Great. Mm-hmm. So
Like like the
that's the uh-huh.
like funding should be like some people, like now I'm working on a project also with the center I'm working for. It's called the Dot, and it's funding 670 refugees and training them for business English language.
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is it. We need funders, we need educational centers, and we need good educators. So it's a package, let's say, Vulcan. And
I
at the
see.
end, that's how a refugee can build a career and be set off. That's it. And be independent financially.
I see.
I
Okay, thank
hope
you very much.
I
Yeah,
hope it helped. I
sure.
hope I did explain
Of
my
course, of
point.
course, of course, Hala. Of course. And I saw another question here. Like, should I mainly take IELTS or TOEFL for studying PhD in linguistics in the USA?
Okay. It depends on the university he is just going to. He has to ask the
Mm-hmm.
university and the requirements. Some require TOEFL and some require IELTS.
IELTS.
So I think they're both admission exams and they're both the same. Let's say there's a difference between both, but admission exams at the end. So I guess he has to just ask the university what is required,
What is
TOEFL
required?
or
Mm-hmm.
IELTS. Some
I
require
see.
SAT, some require IELTS, some require Duolingo, some require TOEFL. It depends on the university, Vulcan.
I see. Thank you. Thank you, Hala. So let me ask you another question. So what digital career can be suggested for the youth to take into considerations? Maybe refugees, we can say, or other young people.
Okay, I do recommend them to consider digital marketing. Okay, digital marketing is in now the market. Other things they could do, just I did mark them down just a second. Digital marketing and other. There are three things: interior design, digital marketing, anything that's really in the market, and they know just it's a success for them.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay.
Digital marketing is one of the best things they could just consider for the future.
I see. Yeah, of course, it's really the future, as you mentioned. And
Yeah.
also one of the said public relations. there is one suggestion
Yes,
here.
yes. I mean, it depends on the person. It depends on the person. But anything that
Mm-hmm.
just AutoCAD, digital marketing, interior designing, this is just in. So
Mm-hmm.
anything that has to do with this, it helps in the future,
Oh, I see. Okay. So let's
in the job
move to
market,
the
I mean.
I see. Thank you, Hala. Let's move to the last question about the refugees. My last question, like, what can be done for a better education for them, for the refugees? What do you suggest?
As I
Actually,
previously did
mm-hmm.
mention, yes. Again, I mention it and again. Those refugees have the right to learn, okay, in order to build a career, okay? So, they need help and support. It's their right to have
Mm-hmm.
accredited examinations. To do so,
Exactly.
organizations have to fund programs for them. Programs could be learning English, computer, business English, and that's it. That's the way that will just lead them to reach wherever they want.
I
And
see.
to do so, it's based on educational centers, okay, in collaboration with organizations that can help them reach
Help them.
wherever they want.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Thank you, Hala. Thank you very much for your suggestions. Let's move to another question. Hala, can you tell us an interesting moment that you still remember in your teaching or learning career?
The most interesting moment, Vulcan, is that when a student comes back to me happily with the
Mm-hmm.
band or the score that he has or she has dreamed of. This makes me just gain pride and proud of like I got my message across to that person and at least I made someone smile. I love it. I love this. I love just to mark a difference in someone's life, and I like to influence somebody by the way I teach or the way I get across with my message to the others. And this is the most interesting part, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
what I'm just
understand.
giving, just to see somebody smiling because I've just marked a difference in his or her life. And
It's great.
I've done this many times, and a positive feedback also makes me so happy.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Hala, for the moment that you share with us. Let's move to another question. This is really interesting question, but that every time I ask you different educators and they tells different ideas about it. Let me ask you, if you could have one superpower to use in the classroom, what would it be and how would it help?
You guess, you tell
I
me.
don't know.
I want to read every student's mind. I want to read
Ah,
their mind to know if they like my way of teaching or not, if they understand or not, especially teaching online. You can't see the person. You can't see the person. So I'd love to read every student's mind to see and to see what do they think of my teaching, if they're
mm-hmm.
happy or not. Sometimes
I see.
people hide the truth. So it's lovely. It's lovely to read people's minds, to know what they're thinking of. This is my
I
only
see.
wish. I wish I could do so.
To read their minds. Okay, very nice.
Yeah, to see if they love my teaching, my way of teaching, yes or not.
Yeah, it can be really interesting if to read their minds, but I don't know
Yes.
when we will do that and how we will do that. Anyway, I hope you will do that one day.
One day,
So,
hopefully.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to another question, Ala. So think about that. Let's say that we finish this interview and you step outside the office or house and find a lottery ticket. Let's end up winning $10 million. What would you do?
Without doubt, without doubt, without doubt, I'll help to teach anybody who wants to learn and for free.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have my own language center. I'll be just in collaboration with an organization that can fund programs for all those refugees who are
I
aiming
see.
high and want to get educated, just seeking better education. That's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Of course, I'll
Mm-hmm. I
save
understand.
some for me. I
I
deserve,
was expecting this one.
but
Yeah,
I'll,
probably you need to save some for yourself.
I'll save some for myself. But really, that's a dream come true. I hope one day I'll reach that point, and I'll be able to help even more and more.
I hope.
Because
I hope
everybody's
so,
allowed
really.
to learn. Everybody's allowed to learn. Everybody is allowed to get educated. That's what I believe in.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Hala. Okay, you know the time flies, and now the next and the last question. Yeah, it's going to be my last question. Ready for the last question?
I'm ready, all ready, set and
Okay,
ready.
okay, wonderful. So, what is your motto?
Tomorrow is better. No matter what we go through, no matter what we go through, don't think about yesterday. Don't think for the future. Tomorrow is better. Just be positive and be optimistic about tomorrow. I tell everybody, I know the world is going through just now, just a very rough patch, rough phase, but I'm sure we can still find joy just tomorrow. So let's think positively, and I'm sure do believe that tomorrow is better. That's my
Tomorrow
motto.
is better.
No
I
matter
see.
what
One.
we go through, tomorrow is better. I do believe this. Hopefully.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the great motto for us. Tomorrow will be better. All right. Okay. So Hala, that's all my questions by my side. And before ending our live sessions, would you like to add anything else?
No, I don't like to add anything else, but I just want to tell everybody who wants, just don't stop yourself. If you need, just find any opportunity to be more educated. Remember, I just wrote it down. Permit me a second. I
Sure.
loved it and I wrote it down. It says, knowledge is the bridge to a better place. Just don't waste your time. If you find any opportunity, any organization that can fund a program that can be just beneficial for you all, go ahead, please. Go ahead, because at the end, you need to build a career and you need to grow and you need to be just independent financially. That's
I
all
see.
I
Thank
can
you.
say.
Thank
And
you
if
very
they
much,
need any
Hala.
help, here I am. For the IELTS, for anything, I'm always here. I can support anybody who needs support.
It's wonderful to know about it. Thank you very much for your support. Okay,
Thanks for this
and
opportunity. Thanks for you, Vulcan. It was my pleasure.
it's great. And thank you very much, Hala. And I just wanted to say one more time, thank you very much for accepting my invitation and being my guest for this live sessions for Teacher Talks. And it's really also thank you very much for your time, for your suggestions, and for your ideas, and to share also you share them with us. It's really
Thanks to
precious.
you all.
And
Thanks to everybody who has joined. Thanks to you, Vulcan. And I'm much just grateful for that opportunity. Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. Wonderful. Okay. And Hala Assi was with us tonight, and we talk about lots of things, especially about refugees. And we learned lots of things from her. Thanks to her, she shared a lot of things with us. And we are going to be here next week on the same day at the same time. As you know, that Teacher Talks time at 9 p.m. in Turkey time, of course. And so until the next time, take care of yourselves and take care of you, Hala. And until next time, bye bye, everybody, and
Don't
peace. Have a nice
hesitate to
week.
contact me if you need any help on the IELTS.
Yeah, of course. Of course, they can contact with you whenever they want. All right. Bye, everybody. Peace. Bye bye, Hala.
Bye, Vulcan. Bye.
Bye
Ciao.
bye.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.